Okay, let's start here. Okay, empezando desde el principio. So I'm gonna read this out loud in voz alta and make a mark everywhere where there's a bit of an issue and try and explain to you. So, Hugo Chávez nació el 28 de julio de 1954 y es el presidente de Venezuela. Sus padres son Hugo de los Reyes Chávez y Elena Frías de Chávez. Tiene dos hermanos, ambos están en la política. Chávez vivió con su abuelo porque su familia fue pobre. Aquí diría algo como Chávez vivió con su abuela. It makes it seem like he lived with it doesn't specify that it was during his childhood. So if I were you, I would add something like durante su niñez, which means childhood. Durante su niñez, Chávez vivió con su abuela porque su familia fue pobre. Él asistió a la Academia Venezuela de Militar del Ejército Nacional de Venezuela. Después de sus estudios, él entró al militar. Militar would be an adjective, so you would either want to say servicio militar or entró al servicio militar or al ejército, which either means military service or the military. So, sirvió por 17 años. Él ganó la elección de presidente de Venezuela en 1999. 3 semanas después de graduarse, 3 weeks after graduating from where would be say de donde. Ingresó a la Academia Militar de Venezuela. So either after this you would want to say 3 semanas después de graduarse de high school, la escuela secundaria. Was it high school? Was it college? Was it preschool? Elementary school? Just say something there. Se graduó y recibió el título de licenciado en Ciencias y Artes Militares y en la especialidad de Ingeniería. El 5 de julio de 1975 graduó con el grado de subteniente. Progresó y finalmente ocupó varios cargos en las Fuerzas Armadas Nacionales. Por ejemplo, comandante de pelotón de comunicaciones, batallón de cazadores cadeño, marines, cumaná, comandante de pelotón y compañía de jefe del Departamento de Educación Física y la Academia Militar de Venezuela. Desarrolló un interés por la política cuando estaba en él. If you just have al, that would mean when he was to the military national. So you want to say in the, which is actually a pretty direct translation to English, when he was in the Ejército Nacional de Venezuela. En 1982 fundó el movimiento bolivariano, revolucionario 200. Bolivarianismo incluye. So in Spanish, a lot of the time, if they want to talk about, communism, socialism, any noun, pretty much, whether it be education or anything like this, they will usually put a definite article in front of it. So in this case, it would be el bolivarianismo incluye patriotismo, no corrupción y muchas ideas de comunismo. Este movimiento estaba formado por oficiales de rango medio cuya ideología era bolivariana. Chávez dijo, aquí tienes algunos problemas de ortografía. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Dijo, so, spelling. Son tiranía disfrazadas de democracia lo que hemos tenido en estas tierras durante mucho tiempo. Hay que echar abajo las bases del Estado colonial y construir un nuevo Estado social, una república nueva que sea expresión del poder constituyente. I'm seeing a few. Son tiranía disfrazadas de democracia lo que hemos tenido. This is definitely this tenidos. It should just be tenido, but it makes me call into question whether this quote has been either translated correctly or copied over correctly. Son tiranía disfrazadas. In certain contexts that could be correct, but you have son here in disfrazadas, both indicating plurality, and then tiranía, which is singular. It just makes me wonder. So just check that quote there. So let's just put check quote. Okay. El MBR 200 incluyó a, good job with the incluyó a, good, Felipe Antonio Acosta Carles, Joel Acosta Chirinos, Francisca Arias Cárdenas, Jesús. Ellos fue bolivariana. Ellos fue. So here what we have is a subject verb disagreement because ellos ellos and fue can't go together, and bolivariana doesn't quite make sense either. So ellos mean, if any, when you say ellos, that means that everything that comes after that, any adjective or noun, or verb, any verb needs to correspond with, in conjugation for ellos, and then any adjective needs to be both plural and masculine. So here, up here, I don't really think that it adds anything to your essay to include these people's names. So I would quitar los nombres. So just get rid of mention to these people. In which case you then wouldn't need to have this next sentence either. So in 1991, Chávez. Now, I notice it's underlining this every time. Just make sure. I think you are right that Chávez. What did it say here? I guess I'll do that later. That Chávez is with un tilde. Say that Chávez over Chávez. Yep, you're right. I don't know why it keeps underlining that. So, let's see. Close all these windows here. Okay. En 1990 tomó el mando. Tomó el mando de la brigada de paracaidistas. Los miembros fijan la fecha a la sublevación de la República. La revuelta fue el 4 de febrero de 1992. Ok, no tomó el mando de la brigada de paracaidistas. So here, you know, talking about what goes behind what this movimiento is made up of, and then you mention a few names here, which I think we can get rid of, and then he is in charge of takes charge of the parachuting brigade, and then the members set a date for the uprising. La revuelta fue okay, so fue a la cárcel por los años y so he tried to take over the government here. Let's see here. Chávez, golpe de estado. How about just look up and see. Chávez revuelta 1991 and see what comes up. Hugo Chávez. Get rid of revuelta here to see what it says for. And let's see what it's add in cárcel so I get my results in Espanol. And here, I think this is where you got most of this from. So let's see, 1991. Okay. Fundó el movimiento, blah blah blah. So, asumió el mando de la brigada de paracaidistas. Okay, con base en el proyecto de gobierno de transición. A la cena comenzó la sublevación con comandos operando simultáneamente se enfrenta a la Guardia Nacional y dio una vez tiene que enrumbarse. Así un recuento de muertes se dio a conocer. De acuerdo a las cifras, hubo 14. No obstante, los combates. Ok, Chávez junto con los pasó 2 años en la prisión de San Francisco. Allí escribió cómo salir del laberinto mientras su popularidad aumentaba. Chávez fue liberado. Mientras que otros intentaron tomar una, Chávez decidió rendirse y pide hacerlo por televisión. Se presentó ante las cámaras de televisión. Tiene buenas. Okay. In alusión a los 200 años de. So, one thing that I think would be important for you to mention is who is Simón Bolívar? Because really that's where Bolivarianismo comes from, and that's where Chavez has been inspired from, is this idea of a united socialist utopia that would constitute not only Venezuela, but Colombia and Ecuador, and I forget, maybe Bolivia too. So it would be good if you could mention here, maybe rather than this here, if you could mencionar algo acerca de Simón Bolívar, y las raíces del movimiento. Raíces are roots. So, en order to mando de brigada de paracaidistas, this to me isn't really all that relevant. It would be better to put in something here about why. So rather than mention this about parachutes, which really isn't that important to the lead up to the revolt, it would be better to mention what they were dissatisfied with about the current government. So, and then, because this is still catching me a little off guard. Now, also, rather than talking about sublevación, really what it was is talk about un intento de golpe de Estado. And so that's what we would call in English an attempted coup. Because that's more the language that people would be most familiar with. Golpe de Estado, and look that up if you need to. So, you know, you've mentioned it and you've led up to it. They've tried, and then you just say he goes to jail. So, I'll talk about it. So it was intento de golpe de Estado, and it also clearly, if he went to the cárcel, then it definitely fracasó. And you should explain por qué. Fracasar is to fail. So why did it fail? And then, por qué fue a la cárcel. Okay. Por los años. And it would be nice maybe mention fue a la cárcel. Here, cárcel is feminine, so you're going to want to have it be a la cárcel. I can fix that for you too. A la cárcel por 2 años y él fue liberado. And then again here, you don't want to have on, in English we say on the 27th of March of whatever, but in Spanish they don't do that. They would just say él fue liberado the 27th of Marzo de 1994. So you just need to have L instead of N. And then you might here, I would try and see if you could find a relevant quote from the book, from el libro que escribió mientras estaba en la cárcel. So, okay, and you can see here, I forget what it was. Copia de salas convenientes. Rico escribió cómo salir del laberinto. So let's just see if we can find something from that. Cómo salir del laberinto. Okay. So let's put that in quotes from Chavez. And then like frases maybe. Primero recomiendo que se no esperar en la frase. Llegó la presencia. Let's see what it says here. Coautor de la propuesta hecha a la casa. Gracias. No, maybe that's not a good idea. But, let's try and put Chavez. Chávez nació el 1 de enero. Pocos lo saben, pero las primeras actividades públicas fue enfrentamientos. Well, okay, there aren't that many. There aren't that many quotes from that, so that wasn't a very good idea of mine. But try and look at some other stuff besides just Wikipedia, and to get a little more depth. The idea of Wikipedia is to be just totally unbiased if they can be. So it's a little dry. Let's see, no hay cabida para ningún otro proyecto que no sea la revolución bolivariana. So this is a good little article here, but maybe just a relevant quote, not from that book. I guess that's a little harder to find. But you might mention that he did write a book or something like that. Okay. So, después de ser liberado, Chávez empezó una campaña de no votar en las siguientes elecciones. Let's just see here. Chávez, campaña de no votar. Probably what you're going to find are campaigns against him, mostly if I write it like this, but campaña de no votar. So I can see where you got that. Let's see. Empezó una campaña de no votar. That's good. I'm glad you changed the tense there rather than empieza. So you're right about that. It was a campaña de no votar. Okay, that's fine, I guess. El dijo, so all the way through here, I'm not going to correct it every time, but dijo, if you have it like this, it's dijo. But this is one of those verbs that doesn't change, that doesn't have that accent mark, even though it's in the past tense, because it's a strong stem changer. Or it's a strong stemmed verb. So el dijo, so you just need to get rid of that accent mark all through it. Que era la mejor manera de demostrar que el país no quería seguir con esas políticas económicas y sociales. Chávez dijo, vencer significa lograr la concreción firme, la concreción profunda, la concreción plena de integral del proyecto nacional de Simón Bolívar. So here again, it would have been nice if you had talked a little bit earlier about really who is Simón Bolívar, because it's just the crux, the epicenter of where Chávez's thoughts come from. So here obtuvo popularidad, maybe say like mucha popularidad, y recorrió Venezuela entre 1995 y 97. Chávez fue apoyado por el polo patriótico conformado por el movimiento Quinta República, Movimiento al Socialismo, Partido Comunista de Venezuela, Patria para Todos y otras 4 organizaciones. What is it? What's the problem with that? Organizaciones. That looks fine to me. Menores. Y otras 4 organizaciones. But try not to avoid. I'll write it in Spanish. Here we go. Trata de evitar listas de nombres de personas y organizaciones que no conocemos, that we don't know. I don't know anything about these organizations, so just to list them off is kind of like filler space a little bit. So try not to do that. You could describe maybe the type of organizations that supported him, or the type of supporters that he had, or his main points, or his main positions. El 6 de diciembre de 1998 es electo. Let me do that. How about put that in the pretérito instead? Presidente de Venezuela con el 56.5% de los votos. Él siguió. Here you're going to need the personal a, so I'll just put that in for you. Él siguió a Rafael Caldera, quien los gentes no quieren. Okay, so first thing here, gente, it's always la gente, siempre, so hold on, siempre es la gente y siempre es la gente y siempre singular. So you can't, it means the people, and it's very common to use that. People, they don't say like las personas. They don't say las personas very much. So you're right to go with gente, but it's always la gente, and that just means the people. So you just want to change that to la gente. And here, who the people didn't like. So this you're going to want to coincide with la gente, so you're just going to want it to be the third person singular. And then I would use the imperfect because you're describing a past thing. So I would say quería, a quien la gente no quería. And then you also need to add in an a here. And I'll just put that in capital there so it catches your attention and you can change it. But so él siguió a Rafael Caldera to, and it translates roughly in English to whom the people didn't love or didn't care about. So that's okay. Caldera perdió control, and here they just, in Spanish, they really like to very often put that definite article. So perdió el control porque fue a hacer mal decisiones. He lost control because he okay, so here this doesn't quite work. First of all, in Spanish, to make decisions is tomar. They use the verb tomar decisiones. So it really, in Spanish, they take decisions rather than make them. So if you just wanted to say he made bad decisions, or he used to make bad decisions, you could either say porque él tomaba malas decisiones, because mal is not a good describing, it's not used as an adjective to describe a noun in this sense. It's just like how you would say he is a good person or a bad person. You would say él es una buena persona or es una mala persona. Mal is used more like esto está mal escrito. It's used mostly with estar. If something está mal, then it's like it's mistaken or it's incorrect. But if you're describing something like a noun like decisiones, then you want to use malo or mala, depending on the gender of the noun. So Caldera perdió el control porque tomaba malas decisiones, and that would be like he was known for making bad decisions. Por ejemplo, la compañía de petróleo se cayó porque impuesto sobre la renta elevó al 60% percentages is used to say porcentaje would be percentage and por ciento is percent. So, la compañía de petróleo se cayó, fell, good job, porque impuesto, did you want to say taxes there? Taxes. Impuestos, un impuesto is a tax above the rent rose. So I'm a little confused about the rest of the sentence. Not sure about the rest of about el resto de la oración. Al 60%. You don't want to clarify for me exactly what you wanted to say there. Chávez ganó las elecciones con promesas de cambiar la Constitución de 1961. Okay, so here, ¿qué es lo que no le gustaba a la gente venezolana? So, what is that which was not liked or was not pleasing to the Venezuelan people? That's how that sentence translates. Just be a little bit more specific. If he ran on that, if he won the elections on that premise, then, or on that promise, then, what about that was appealing to people? So, la nueva constitución incluyó protección para personas de Venezuela y las mujeres. Personas de Venezuela, más específico, por favor. More specific, please. Personas de Venezuela, also probably better just to say los venezolanos. But what were the changes? Or what were the protections? And personas de Venezuela. Las mujeres, okay, that makes great sense. So, protección para personas de Venezuela y las mujeres y derechos de educación. Now, would this be like the right to education? Right to education? Because if it's the right to education, which probably it is, the right to education, to housing, to medical care, then you would say there, y derechos, or maybe el derecho a la educación, probably they say something like una vivienda digna, like a dignant living space is what I've heard a lot before. Cuidados médicos, that's fine. Y a la comida. So, just change that a little bit. Agregó nuevas nuevas protecciones ambientales y mayores necesidades para transparencia en el del gobierno y mayores greater needs for transparency. Did he add greater needs for them, or he added greater guarantees for them? Oh shoot. Not what I meant to do. Hold on. Just make sure, I'm not sure that's the right word. Needs or guarantees. Okay, lo mayor en el periodo de 5 años. Lo mayor en el periodo del presente. This doesn't make sense to me. The greatest, lo mayor. The greatest what? The day and the L would need to be contracted just to be del. But there's some other problems with the sentence, so I need you to clarificar. To clarify that, please. Incluyó un nuevo presidencial. What is a presidencial? Yeah, this whole thing, you're just going to need to give me an English translation of what you want to say here. Okay. El 15 de febrero de 2009, los venezolanos acreditó un referéndum para eliminar los límites perdidos. Este le dio al okay. Here you just have a subject, verb, disagreement. Para eliminar los límites. Let's just see here. Term limits in español. Let's see here. Term limits. Okay. Term. Okay, let's see. Sometimes if it doesn't come up in word reference like that, you can just, like this, term limits, and that'll get you some sort of a forum where it's mentioned. See what they say. Doesn't look like this is in. Repeal term limits. Let's see. No. Repeal term limits. So a lot of the time you just have to be creative with the research that you do and just type creative different things into Google and see what comes up. Es una conversación de dos guionistas sobre una broma de Clinton. I would repeal term limits in a heartbeat. Okay. Term limits. El límite que dice que no se puede servir en a heartbeat. Por eso no puede Quiero en la oración probablemente está diciendo que quisiera revocar esos límites. Yeah. Not great. Let's try. Okay, once bitten, twice how to say once bitten, twice shy in Spanish. Same. This is a tough one for some reason. I don't know what's terminals, traducción, español. Jeez. Okay, I'm not gonna do this on the video anymore, but that's a tough one. Still not quite feeling comfortable with the translation that you have here. Okay. Rito, so, oh my goodness, I can see that you're actually on this right now. So I am going to pause the recording. Well, I guess I'll just stop it actually and upload this part at least.